Hello YouTube, welcome to another one of my Duel Links videos. Today I have for you a Gem Knight deck using kind of a weird engine. The future Gem Knight fusion for this deck is going to be Gem Knight Zirconia, and the reason why he has to be the focus point of the whole deck is because we're using this card to fuse the Earth Hexial fusion. And if you guys are not familiar with the effect, Hexial fusion, the Earth, it's an Earth monster that can serve as a as a fusion material. Like, it can substitute any fusion material, any named fusion material. And also, if you have a fusion material and itself on the field, you can tribute both and special summon a fusion monster from your deck, from your extra deck that corresponds to those fusion materials. But the thing to understand about this card is that it is not a fusion summon, it is a special summon. Therefore, cards like Gem Knight Amethyst that say must first be fusion summon, or Gem Knight Lady Lapis that says must first be fusion summon, do not apply to the Earth Hexial fusion. So the only one that we had left was Gem Knight Zirconia, and the whole reason why I made this an engine, based on Hexial fusion, is because it is a 3-star rock monster, and so are Gem Knight Obsidian and Gem Knight Lapis. So if you have any of them, you can use Ties of the Brethren and bring the other two to the field. It was just something that I was trying out, and it worked out okay, for what it's worth, using a quote-unquote vanilla fusion that doesn't have any effect, just 2900 attack. So that's basically the deck list. We have three of each of the monsters that are Ties of the Brethren targets. Gem Knight Lapis can also be used to fuse into Gem Knight Lady Lapis Lazuli, but for that you need to actually use Gem Knight fusion. So that's why through my 2 Gem Knight fusion in here, I only have 2 still. 2 enemy controllers to round out the 6 spells that you need for your balance skill. For the traps, I went with basically things that kind of counter for hire, because I thought that's what I was going to encounter the most. 2 Canadia, 2 Floodgate, and then I just went with 2 Widespread Ruins. You can put any traps here, but these traps would kind of guarantee, most of them would guarantee that my monsters stay on the field, so that the next turn I can actually special summon my fusion monsters. Because as you know, you cannot special summon any monsters after you use Ties of the Brethren. That's it for the deck list. The rest of the extra deck, it's 1 Amethyst. You can go into the only way you can go into Amethyst is by using your Gem Knight Lady Brilliant, or if you happen to summon a Paleozoic Canadia, because that's an Aqua type monster. But other than that, you special summon it using Lady Brilliant Diamond, and usually when I bring it out, it's just so that I can farther fuse into another monster and get rid of all spell and traps and try to go for game. So let's go ahead and show you some replays. 21 cards, because I did 6 traps, 6 spells, and then I just did the 9 monsters. So 21 cards. Balance for the most time, it still worked. You would get 1 spell, 1 trap, and 1 monster, and then the last one would be random. There was one instance in when I did not get a trap. I got 2 monsters, 2 spells. Not sure why. I don't know if once you go to over 20 cards you have to do 7 of each. But here we have a Maximilian Pegasus. We're going second. You kind of want to go first when you have Ties to the Brethren, because you do lose your battle phase. But because he didn't go aggressive or anything like that, I go ahead and do my same play. And I could have used either my Lapis or my my Hexial fusion, but because I had a follow-up, I just went ahead and did it this way. He says just another card, so now I'm gonna use my Hexial fusion, go into Gem Knight fusion, and do a double Zirconia. My opponent, all these cards were activatable. I'm not sure what kind of, what his end game was, but he lets me destroy both monsters, which was very surprising for me. And here he just ends turn, so I go for the big play. Now that I have 4 Gem Knights total, I banish 1 to get Gem Knight Fusion back. go into my Lady Brilliant, and because I used Obsidian from the hand, that's gonna let me summon the what is this? Lapis. And here now I can use my Brilliant Diamond, get rid of my Zirconia to special summon Amethyst. And the reason why I had to get rid of Zirconia instead of Lapis is because I need Lapis in order to, you know, go into my next fusion. So go ahead and activate Gem Knight Fusion yet again. Summon Lady Lapis Lazuli. All the cards go back to the hand. I can activate the effect, do some burn damage, and finish the game. I feel like I'm getting more comfortable with, you know, the whole Gem Knight engine and the plays and stuff. I know when I try to play it on stream, I would do a lot of misplays, mostly because I was tired. I'm just gonna say that I was tired, and that's why I was misplaying so much. But usually off stream, when I can concentrate on what I'm doing, I can see the plays as you see in that little display right there. We got Jaden Juki next. We're going second. We have 2 monsters. So here I was just testing to see if this was, you know, like a floodgate or something. I didn't see any kind of delay. So now I can go into my Gem Knight Fusion. Hitting for 29 does not activate his card. Goes for a Destiny draw, and then just sets a monster. So we're gonna see that it was a Wall of Disruption. Goes into Vion, and before he could get his polymerization, I just flip it into defense mode, and that's gonna be the game. Pretty easy. This deck definitely wants to, you know, wants to end games quick. You don't really have a lot of cards to, you know, go for the long game. I thought about having things like Giant Runade, I'm sorry, not Giant Runade, Hate Runade, to maybe, you know, take care of the back row and more easily achieve game, but the enemy controller was just too good to not put in there, you know, for obvious defensive and offensive purposes. Here we have an alien player that just summons an alien warrior and says, hey man, how about you OTK me? So I do just that pretty much. We're gonna go for Lapis Lazuli. My Obsidian is gonna give me my Lapis back onto the field. I burn him for 1,000, normal summon, and obviously I could have just banished my Obsidian, you know, to get the Gem Knight Fusion back. I didn't actually need to use my Earth effect. But it was nice because I only have, you know, the 2 Gem Knight Fusion. It was nice to have that option of, you know, being able to contact fuse if I didn't have the spell. We'll destroy the alien warrior, hit him for 29 to the face. Easy game, easy life. Those bandit keys. We got Yugi Moto. Wearing my Jinso shirt there. This one, I don't remember what it was. I only remember that they had restart, which was odd. I don't see restart very much now because, you know, obvious reasons, you lose your draw phase. But we're going first. We have the Ties of the Brethren turn 1. Goes for the restart. And we also have the protection. So that's kind of why, you know, the ratios are the way they are. You want to try to get your Ties of the Ties of the Brethren, and also have your defensive card. Oh yeah, it was Red Eyes. He goes for Red Eyes Insight. He's gonna get his Red Eye Spirit, and he wasn't really paying attention. This was not a hard-fought duel. I go ahead and summon Contact Fuse into my Zirconia, Contact Fuse into a second Zirconia. But I was playing around the Wall of Disruption because, you know, he just looked too confident when he summoned that Red Eyes Black Dragon. And all he had was a Forbidden Chalice, which is not enough to make us crash. I destroy his Red Eyes, and then he just scoops it up. But I saved that so you could see how easily you could go into your, you know, your extra deck monsters once you get that initial Ties of the Brethren. Especially if you have a second Hex Seal to follow up. For this last duel, we went up against Amazoness, but it was a very weird Amazoness deck. I was really surprised by how they open. And when I looked at the deck list, it wasn't too different. I guess this player just happened to draw into all these cards. We're gonna go second. Amazoness Fighting Spirit, Amazoness Heirloom, and Amazoness Paladin. So no traps, no princess. Go ahead and go for Ties of the Brethren since I have the enemy controller to, you know, save my monsters. Goes for Amazoness Spy and a second Amazoness Heirloom. So I immediately see that he's targeting Obsidian, and that's fine. I kind of wanted her to destroy this one because both of these have been special summoned. So when I go into my Lapis Lazuli, I can deal more damage. Obsidian is going to bring back my Lapis. We're going to deal 1500. I'm going to Contact Fuse into my Zirconia, attack the Spy that's in attack mode, and just deal more than enough damage to finish the game. And this was a fun deck to use. You know, it's not going to be anything meta breaking. Just another way to run Gem Knights. I know there's tons of ways to run it, whether you're going 20 card deck, 30 card deck, balance, beatdown, but this one in particular was really fun. Finally getting to use Hexial Fusion and, you know, Ties to the Brethren as the combo. It's just, it was really fun. But that's gonna be it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, like, comment, and subscribe if you want. Join my Discord if you haven't. The link will be down in the description, along with my PayPal link if you guys want to support my channel, support my content. I really appreciate that. And till next time.